In 1977, a strange signal reached Earth from deep space. It lasted just 72 seconds, but it changed everything. Astronomers called it the "wow" signal, because that's literally what one of them wrote beside the data. It wasn't random noise, it wasn't a satellite, and it didn't match anything we'd ever seen before. Nearly 50 years later, NASA still can't explain where it came from, or who sent it. Would you like me to continue with the first 500 words next, following this same pacing and tone? The night it happened. It was a quiet summer night in 1977 at Ohio State University. Inside a small control room, the massive Big Ear radio telescope was listening to the sky. It scanned space, one slice at a time, hunting for any signal that didn't belong to nature. Then suddenly, the monitor spiked. A sharp, clean signal cut through the background noise. Loud, powerful, and impossibly precise. For 72 seconds, the telescope picked up a radio wave that looked nothing like a star, a planet, or static from Earth. It came from deep space, far beyond our solar system. Astronomer Jerry Amon leaned over the data printout, eyes wide. The numbers were off the charts. In disbelief, he circled them in red pen and scribbled one word beside it. Wow. That single word became the name of one of the strangest space mysteries ever recorded. No one knew what caused it, and no one ever heard it again. But that night, for just over a minute, Earth received something so perfect, so powerful, that even today, scientists still can't explain where it came from. And that's where the mystery begins. The signal's strange details. The more scientists studied the data, the stranger it became. This wasn't just a random burst of static. It was a narrowband radio signal, meaning it came from one very specific frequency. And that frequency wasn't just any number. It was 1420 megahertz, the natural frequency of hydrogen. Hydrogen is the most common element in the universe. It's what stars are made of, what fills galaxies, and what every advanced scientist knows as the logical channel for interstellar communication. If anyone out there wanted to send a signal that could be understood by other civilizations, they'd use hydrogen. It's the universal language of physics. The signal lasted exactly 72 seconds, the same amount of time the Big Ear telescope could listen to one part of the sky before Earth's rotation moved it away. That means the timing was perfect. Not a second longer, not a second shorter. When they tried to find it again, it was gone. No repeat, no echo, no trace. Some researchers thought it must have been a computer glitch or a reflection from Earth, but the data didn't match anything man-made. It was too clean, too strong, and too specific. It was as if someone, or something, had spoken to Earth for 1 minute and then disappeared forever. But what could create such a perfect signal? The search for an explanation. After the discovery, scientists around the world rushed to find an answer. Everyone had a theory, but none of them truly fit. Some thought it might be a satellite reflection, bouncing a radio wave from Earth back into the telescope. But satellites move too fast, and their signals scatter in different directions. Wow! The signal was laser sharp and steady, as if it came from a single point in space. Others guessed it was a plane, meteor, or even a distant quasar. But none of those could produce such a pure narrowband wave, and certainly not one that lasted exactly 72 seconds. Jerry Amon and his team checked every instrument, every record, every possible Earth-based interference. Nothing explained it. The Big Ear telescope scanned that same patch of sky again and again over the next few months. They waited for the mysterious signal to return. It never did. For years, scientists listened, hoping that maybe the source would speak again. But space stayed silent. It was like hearing a knock at your door in the middle of the night, opening it, and finding no one there. The mystery deepened, and the questions only grew. Was it a natural cosmic event? A technical glitch? Or a message from another world? Before jumping to conclusions, NASA decided to take a closer look, because this wasn't just strange, it was unprecedented. NASA's investigation, NASA scientists reviewed every possible explanation. They analyzed data from other observatories, compared frequencies, and even recreated the Big Ear setup using modern tools. Wow! The signal seemed to come from the constellation Sagittarius, near a group of stars known as Chi Sagittarii. But there was nothing unusual there. No planets, no pulsars, no black holes that could explain it. Just empty space. The signal also didn't drift in frequency like natural space noise usually does. It stayed locked at the same point, almost as if it was being controlled. That's what caught NASA's attention the most. It behaved like an artificial transmission. But there was one problem. They never heard it again. And science doesn't like mysteries that can't be repeated. NASA's official stance was cautious. They couldn't call it alien, but they also couldn't rule that out. They labeled it an unexplained event of non-terrestrial origin. In simple words, it didn't come from Earth and it didn't make sense. For decades, astronomers have scanned the same patch of sky using far more powerful telescopes, like the Green Bank Observatory and the Allen Telescope Array. They've found many interesting signals, but none that match the exact power and purity of the WOW signal. Every few years, new data brings new hope, but nothing ever matches what was heard that night in 1977. So if not aliens, then what could it be? Theories that try to explain it. Over the years, scientists, astronomers, and curious minds have tried to explain what the WOW signal could be. And some of the theories are just as wild as the signal itself. The first theory says it came from a comet. In 2017, an astronomer named Antonio Paris suggested that the signal might have come from two comets that were passing near Earth back in 1977-266P/Christensen and 335P/Gibbs. He believed the hydrogen clouds around those comets could have emitted the same 1420 MHz frequency. But there was one problem. The comets were nowhere near that part of the sky when the signal was detected. So that theory quickly fell apart. Another theory blamed space debris or military transmissions bouncing off the upper atmosphere. But again, the data doesn't fit. The Big Ear telescope was designed to filter out signals from Earth, and this one passed every check. Then, of course, there's the theory everyone secretly hopes for: an extraterrestrial broadcast. Maybe it was a beacon, maybe it was a test transmission, or maybe it was just a ping from a civilization trying to see who's out there. The signal was too clean, too mathematical, too deliberate to be random. It wasn't like anything created by nature. So could it really have been from someone or something trying to talk to us? That's where the mystery becomes bigger than science. Could it be alien contact? Let's imagine for a second, what if the WOW was the signal really from an intelligent civilization? If that's true, then somewhere out there, 200 light years away, a planet might have aimed its own radio telescope at us and sent a single message. Maybe it was a greeting, maybe it was a test, or maybe it was an accident, like us leaving our microphone on in space. If it was alien, the timing would make sense. The signal came from deep space, outside our solar system, and used a frequency that scientists everywhere agree is perfect for communication. It's like shouting through the quietest part of the universe, where everyone is listening. But then, why didn't they send another one? Why just 72 seconds? One possible explanation is that they didn't know we were listening. The beam could have passed over Earth just once, like a flashlight moving across the sky. Another idea says the signal was sent on a repeating schedule, but we haven't been tuned in at the right time since. NASA and SETI scientists have tried to find the same pattern again. They've used better equipment, stronger computers, and more precise scanning. Still nothing. If it was alien, it might have been their way of saying, "We're here," and we missed the reply. But not everyone believes this mystery needs aliens to make sense. Natural or human error? Not everyone believes the WOW signal came from aliens. Some scientists say we're overthinking it, and the answer might be much simpler. One idea is that it came from a natural cosmic burst, like a star suddenly flaring, or a signal from a distant quasar bouncing through space in a way we didn't expect. But even those events don't normally send radio waves at one perfect frequency. Nature is messy. The WOW signal wasn't. Another possibility is human interference. Maybe an Earth-based radio source like a radar or communication test accidentally lined up with the telescope's path for just a few seconds. But the direction and frequency didn't match anything used on Earth at the time. Then there's the equipment theory, that the telescope glitched. But the Big Ear was known for its accuracy. It had been running for years without a single false signal like this. Every time scientists think they've solved the mystery, the data disagrees. Every clue seems to cancel out the last one. So the WOW signal sits in a strange place, between science and the unknown. Too organized to be natural, too mysterious to be confirmed as artificial. It's a reminder that even in the age of supercomputers and deep space probes, there are still moments when the universe whispers something we can't quite understand. But what if this wasn't the only whisper? Other mysterious signals. NASA can't explain the wow. Signal isn't the only strange message we've picked up from the cosmos. NASA and SETI have detected several odd signals over the decades, and some of them are just as mysterious. In 2007, astronomers noticed powerful fast radio bursts, or FRBS. These are massive bursts of radio energy that last only a few milliseconds. They're so strong that one single FRB can release more energy than our sun emits in an entire day. Scientists have found dozens of them coming from all over the universe, but they still don't know exactly what causes them. Then, in 2019, they found an FRB that actually repeated every 16 days. That made things even stranger. No known natural process behaves like that. Some say it could be from neutron stars colliding, while others think it's a distant rotating beacon, like a lighthouse from another galaxy. There's also a signal NASA calls the Perseus mystery tone. It's a low hum, deep in space, near a cluster of galaxies. It's been echoing for billions of years, and no one knows what's keeping it alive. The universe is full of sounds, some familiar, most not. But none have been as perfectly timed, perfectly clean, and perfectly unexplained as the wow signal. It stands alone, a single message from the stars that refuses to reveal its sender. And maybe that's exactly how it was meant to be. If you love exploring mysteries like this one, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and drop a comment about what you think the wow signal really was. Was it aliens or something even stranger?